What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building for another episode of the Shop Podcast, episode 185. How is everybody feeling this weekend, man? Once again, follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you guys support us. You guys come every single weekend, show up every weekend. We have a lot of fun here. No guests this week. It's just us four rocking out. So once again, let everybody know. Retweet that link. All of our information is in the description below. Follow us everywhere. All the social media things are down there. Once again, appreciate the love and support every single weekend you guys provide to us here at the shop. The super chat is live. We do appreciate that support as well, man. That further supports everything we do here on the Shop Podcast, man. So much love to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving Day. Hopefully everybody is safe as well. So let's go ahead and just go around our panel, let everybody know what's popping with them live, have everybody week spin, and then we'll dive right the fuck into the topics. We're not going to wait too long to get started here. So let's just start with you, Stag. How was your holiday, brother, and how you been feeling?
Holiday was good. Just spent it with the people in the house and ate the foods and the desserts and played a lot of video games as usual. Watched some mediocre football.
Yeah, oh Lord.
Yeah, man, I'm just grinding the million gamer score. I'm closing in on 950,000. I hope to hit that maybe by the end of tonight, probably tomorrow. But
Awesome.
just streaming. I got 3 games pre-release right now. I just did one the other day, Mortals Phoenix Rising. If you guys have been sitting on that game.
Yeah, I watched you. I popped in. I don't know if you saw. I popped in the stream.
I didn't notice, but you
Yeah,
guys.
So can I tell you
no,
something real quick,
no
Zach?
offense, but
I know you're good. I'm just
yeah, it's a lot like Assassin's Creed mixed with Breath of the Wild, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited to play it. The humor's great, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm trying to finish up Valhalla so I can dive into that game more.
Hey, Stag. Like yesterday, walking around at a Best Buy here in town, people here in Phoenix, if you're hearing this and you really want it, for some reason they're accidentally selling that game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I almost bought it, but because I want the gold edition with the season pass, so I'm waiting for it to come out.
I had that pre-ordered, and then I got a code from the dev, and I was like, cancel.
Oh, dude, no. I'm waiting for the season pass edition. But straight up, I walked around holding on to it for about 10-15 minutes going, oh my God, I have this game right now. I'm not under any NDA. I could have a field day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to buy the season pass because I've played the game for about 5 hours and I'm absolutely in love with it. So
it looks super fun. I watched you on stream for about probably 20-30 minutes, and it looks definitely like I said, it looks definitely perfect mix, what you just said, Breath of the Wild and Assassin's Creed.
For sure.
All right. So other than that, anything else popping off this week for you, Stag, or was that pretty much it, man?
Man, I got nothing else.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Every single week here. Glad you had a great holiday. Once again, everybody, man. Shout out Mav in the chat, Shon Su, everybody hanging out in the chat, man. Once again, retweet that link. Let everybody know we're live. We're popping here. Come hang out with us in the chat, people. So let's go ahead and move on to you, Centurion. How was your holiday, brother, and how you been feeling, man?
Oh man, it was a good holiday, and now here it is, Saturday night. We're actually able to cap off this week with an awesome podcast. And yes, I was able to sit here and chill with my wife and relax and play nothing but games. And outside of all the other games I am trying to find time for, I ended up checking out Ghost Runner, and that game is absolutely addictive. But that game is a very big love-hate relationship if you've ever played it.
Shout out to Indy. They've been playing a shout out Indy game with my guy, man. If you watch and listening, he's high on that game, man. I heard good things about it.
Oh, dude, that game you want to keep going, but like you get shot. It's one hit kill. My first playthrough for the first level, I died 90 times.
Oh wow, see that's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know about all of that. I don't know if I have that type of resolve. I'm out of there about 3 or 4 times. I'm like, yeah, we need to do something.
Oh, dude, it makes you mad when like you get shot down by like you literally got to figure out where everybody's at in the room, and the object of the game is to keep moving because you obviously don't want to get shot because it's one hit kill.
Yeah,
but still the same thing applies for them. The downside is they got guns and you have nothing but a sword, at least starting off.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I don't know if that was it for you for the week. I mean,
that's else? Pretty much it.
Okay.
Nothing exciting. Got to stay home for Thanksgiving for once.
Hey,
That
you
was
got
exciting.
a new mic. That's exciting.
Yeah,
I do
like
have a
that,
new
you know?
mic. So if I
Yeah,
do
you
sound,
upgrade.
that's exciting. So if I sound different, I'm definitely wanting to step my game up. Went out and finally got
I
myself
officially
a
feel like you've been
full-blown
a
mic.
fraud this whole time because you don't even sound like you now.
Is there a dramatic difference? I really want to know.
Now let us know, Chad, if there's a dramatic. I don't think there is, but it definitely is like a clarity difference. I think for me.
I think
But
it was his
all I
evil
was
twin
looking
the
for
whole
was
time,
for the
personally. But
clarity. Well, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm my biggest critic, and yes, every time I listen to my content, I'm like, oh my god, I sound like shit.
everybody hates their own voice. Don't worry about it.
I
Oh,
know,
dude,
right? None of us ever sound
I
good.
hate everything
Go
I
back.
do. I'm like, you need to do better.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you here, Centurion. Always rocking out with us, man. Once again, show some love, Chad. Hit that like button on your way in. Retweet that link. Let everybody know we're live at the Shop Podcast. Last but not least, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere. How are you doing, man? We smoothed it out this. Well, you didn't smooth anything out. You camped out. That's the only out you were doing was camping out. How you been, bro?
Yeah, I'm still kind of recovering from the that half a week camp out type of deal. I mean, these scalpers got it on lock as far as trying to get a PS5 online. I'm not having that, and I had some free time and figured, hey, the wife is gonna help me sit out there and whatnot, and brought me some food and kind of had Thanksgiving dinner outside. But hey, I got that PS5, so got that to cross off the list. But other than that, just now I got to catch up on work stuff and just kind of relax and get back on a normal sleep schedule as opposed to like being on like night watch, making sure people aren't trying to cut in line and stuff. Shout out to the other 5 gentlemen that hung out with me for one of them for a PS5 and the other 4 for the Xbox Series X. And we tried to let everybody know, well, we already got all the consoles reserved. We were at one of the Game Stops where they listed on the door how many they had. And, everybody, would easily see that. And then it was like 4:30 the morning of the launch, or 4:30 on Friday in the morning. It's like nobody wanted to listen. It's like, you do know there's no more consoles. Oh, they might have more in the back. Okay. You're going to waste a couple hours just standing there. But outside of that, got to chat it up with some people, one of them being a retro gamer, the other guy for the PS5 was getting it for his son, but he'll probably wind up playing it some as well. And because as soon as he saw that Assassin's Creed Valhalla was available, it was like, oh yeah, I can get into that. But
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good group, good conversations, and I'm got both of my next gen consoles. Woohoo!
Nice.
So that's all I got.
The fact that Fuzzy doesn't technically know what I look like, this would have been a good time to really screw with somebody. Be like, yeah, no, you didn't know this was my place in line. You were just holding it for me.
We are not trying to start no problems in front of games.
Oh my gosh, freaking just have something go down over. But real quick, if you don't mind me mentioning, what do you think about the scalpers, PTK, the whole scalper situation on both these consoles? Did you see that one article about how one group actually was able to score around 3,500 PS5s alone?
Mm-hmm.
I did. Well, I seen a lot of stuff talking about it, but
No regrets.
I don't want to get into that right now. We're gonna go ahead and just keep. We're gonna go ahead and keep it pushing. We're gonna keep it going. Let's go ahead and just get started with the show, and then we'll just, if we have time.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just was wanting to put out that I just don't think we need to be supporting scalpers. Just like, do what Fuzzy did.
But no, absolutely. Scalpers.
No, I just feel like that's where it starts with just don't support the system, and it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, nobody benefits from that. I think we all understand that's a horrible, those bots, things like that. It's
wait. You guys don't want overpriced hand sanitizer?
Okay. See, that, like, for me, it's not about wanting to complain about it. It's more like just don't give in regretfully. Even if you see the trouble Fuzzy went through, I'd go through the same trouble too. But I would never ever go to that position of actually paying any more than retail price for it.
I don't even pay markups on cars or even retail on cars. So I sure as heck ain't doing it on a PS5.
I mean, like, honestly, like, standing in line for 17 hours is almost like paying a scalper in a sense, because your time is money. I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but you did, like, how much is your time worth hourly? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
So,
I made.
I don't mean
that,
just you. I mean everybody who stands in lines and waits for those things. Did you see the picture of those guys with their fucking arrow beds?
Beds
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. I saw that. I saw that shit.
I mean, at least they're fucking one up in the game.
Yeah, dedicated. They had a full fucking setup right there.
Home
But,
comforts.
Dude, I've gone
Oh,
to
yeah.
one Black Friday where I've seen people with a full-blown tent. They had blankets rolled out with pillows. They actually had someone serving tea. I'm not making this up.
Crazy. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing rolling, man. Once again, everybody in the chat, hit the like button. Appreciate the like. Get this thing popping, man. Appreciate you guys' support and love. So let's go ahead and just start with the poll of the week, as we do every single week here on the Shop Podcast, starting with the poll of the week, posted every single Monday. Follow me there. All my info is in the description below. Once again, let's run up those likes. Appreciate you guys. And let's dive right in. So poll of the week now, it actually was semi ruined by Nintendo, but not too bad. Not too bad. So poll of the week was, now that the next gen has officially started, which of these instances are most likely to happen in 2021? So I just threw some random instances out there. So Nintendo discounts games. Now, obviously Black Friday, we can't include that because everything gets discounted. Sony copies Game Pass, Halo gets delayed again, or Stadia gets exclusive IP. So the overwhelming favorite was Sony copies Game Pass, 73%. I don't even really need to talk about the other three because a majority of the people that voted that particular choice. So let's go ahead and just start with you, Stag. Out of those four options, which one do you think is most likely to happen in 2021 going forward, bro? Where are you at with that?
I don't know, man. Like, sure, I can see Sony, doing Game Pass type. I mean, they already kind of do. They just don't do their games day one. But I kind of think they're just sitting there waiting to see how profitable Game Pass is for Xbox. But
Mhm.
that's what I voted for. Sorry, guys, I'm a little low energy today.
Oh, you're good, bro. I know you said you didn't feel that well. So
No. I'm just kind of rolling with it though. But I mean, I don't think Halo's gonna get delayed again. I mean, they've got the rest of the year to work on it. I don't think we're gonna see it till next fall, next Christmas. But I could see Sony doing more of the subscription. I mean, the subscription-based gaming is where we're headed, anyways. Same with digital gaming. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening, and them putting more of their games. God, I hate saying this, but day and date. I hate that fucking phrase. And putting more of their games on PC because they're already testing the market with putting their stuff on PC and doing more of that stuff day one. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just think that's something that they're going to end up doing long term.
yeah.
Going to
Okay.
happen in 2021. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the Xbox is creating the model. So
Yeah. Okay. No, I agree with that. I think that, I mean, obviously, most people agree with that. That's probably the most obvious choice, just based on some of the things that they've already done. Some of the investments they've already made. A couple exclusives have already been on PC. I think Horizon was on PC. I think was the last God of War, was that on PC as well, or no?
No, just
No, it
just
wasn't. Okay.
Horizon
It's Horizon,
and
right?
Death Stranding right
Death
now.
Stranding. Yeah, Death Stranding is the other one I was thinking of. Okay.
But my guts tell me we'll either see eventually God of War or something like Days Gone or
Days
something like
Gone,
that.
yeah, I could see something like that. Okay, so they've kind of been trending in that
Days
direction.
Gone with mods. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that would actually be a pretty big thing at that point.
Yeah, on PC for sure. They could create all kind of different game modes and weird shit. But no, once again, good start on the topic Stag. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. I think things are just trending that way. The other three options, I mean, Halo, I mean, that's hopeful. I'm just hopefully that doesn't happen again. I mean, not that it would deter me from purchasing Halo, but I mean, I think Halo is in a position right now where it just needs time away. It needs the attention, love, and care. We don't need to. I don't personally need to hear anything about Halo really until it's ready, whenever it is ready. So now Stadia, who cares? And then Nintendo, God
But
forbid.
Stadia, I don't think I've heard of that.
Yeah, right.
Stadia who?
Going to be a dinosaur in a minute. That thing is not working out.
Speaking
But
of Stadia, somebody freaking mentioned Stadia on my wall the other day, and then like 7 different Stadia accounts liked the comment. Like, whoa, calm down, guys.
Stadia gang over there jumping you, man. You got to be careful. Gotta be careful. Let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion, man. What do you think, man? Which out of those options, brother? Which one you think is most likely?
Well, obviously, Sony copies Game Pass, but I don't know if they're going to truly copy the model per se. I
can
know
think of
they're going to
another
have their
word.
own twist on it. They're going to have their own twist on it.
Emulate.
Yeah, emulate
They're
could
gonna
be a
they're
better
gonna kind
word.
of go down that road, that route, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, emulate it, kind of. But I just know, what's his name, Jim Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just really feel like that guy there's a side of him that doesn't want to do this. He doesn't like the fact that technically he's being proved wrong, because at one time wasn't he told that subscription models are unsustainable?
He made mention of something along those lines, just because
I
of
think, yeah.
the cost versus, what you would get in the subscription would take away from the overall, or at least that's what he thought, or
What he
mentioned
wants.
himself.
Yeah, and that's where now all of a sudden he's going to probably be put in a position to backtrack on that whole situation, because we see HBO doing it, we see Showtime doing it, we see Disney doing it. Everybody's coming out with a subscription service. There is multiple versions of subscription services now for all sorts of products. It's completely insane. And so, yeah, regretfully, Sony's seeing this too. And regardless, if you agree with, this is one thing with Jim Ryan, whether you agree with it or not, it makes money. So he isn't the end all be all when it comes to PlayStation. He is only the leader of a brand, a branch of the Sony, like the whole Sony system over there, the whole Sony company.
Jim
And
Ryan
so,
still has a boss.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so basically these guys see these companies starting to actually come out with these systems. And I have always said Sony is an entertainment company before they are a hardware manufacturer. And that is because they make great entertainment. We see this in their movies. We see this in their games, because they have very well narrative-driven movies and games. And so Sony as a company should take advantage of that, and they have actually the keys to success for a very good entertainment subscription service. And that is why they're going to probably copy some kind of system, emulate what Microsoft is doing. But I know that they're going to have a Sony spin on it, because you don't want to be the guy that copies your competition. That basically kind of looks bad.
Well, I mean, they say what flattery, or no, mimicry is the highest form of flattery. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially in the tech industry. It happens
Right.
all the time. Apple does it every year. Sorry, I don't know.
Now, but that's the only thing. But now
Sorry.
we're talking. Now, I hate to be. Yeah. Now we're talking about. I hate to be an a-hole about it, but we're talking about a company that is built on emulation versus a company that really likes to headway and change things. Look at the controller for the PS5. I'm not over here trying to tout the PS5, but there is a side of Sony that likes to try to create new things. And that is where I know that there's going to be a side that is going to want to try to create something that makes it just slightly different. That way it's Sony's and you're not copying the other guys. You're just emulating it.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, they got to do. There are things that Sony does extremely well. I completely agree with your point about their entertainment division, and it shows in their games, their movies. Obviously, that is the strength of the company, and it shows through every single product.
See,
that they put
now
out.
the one thing that just came to mind for me is one thing that Sony could do over Xbox when it came to Game Pass is we also got to remember that Sony owns a studio.
Mhm.
They could include movies with said subscription service.
Yeah.
Something Microsoft can't do, because Microsoft doesn't own these movies. They would have to hammer out some deals and some other stuff to actually create something like that, where Sony could actually do this completely on their own, because they actually own some movies out there. I mean, how many movies have been made under Sony Entertainment?
PlayStation games were movies.
Exactly, but that's what I'm getting at. That's where if you create an entertainment based subscription service for Sony, I feel like that's where they could take this down a direction that would be completely different than Microsoft. Microsoft is beating the drum for games, and we're seeing the success that they're having, but I feel like PlayStation could do something close, but make it just a little bit different. And they can do that by including the fact that they actually are technically an entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that idea as well. We'll dive into that a little bit more here. But let's go ahead and throw this over to you first. Great round up there, Centurion. A lot of jewels there, man. A lot of jewels. So, Buzz, it's on you, man. What do you think, bro?
Well, I originally voted the Nintendo discounting prices because I wasn't really looking at it as like a Black Friday thing. Because on previous Black Fridays, you would get $1 off, maybe $5 off if you're lucky. They knocked a whole $20 off on their first party stuff, which that's big for anything Nintendo related. But speaking on the whole Sony thing, as far as like a Game Pass, type of service, they should really look at just merging PS Plus and PS Now as one subscription. Keep it about the same price as what PS Now is now if you buy it for the year, which is like around $100. I like the idea of like having something where you would have like the Sony pictures mixed in, or maybe even Sony music. But the big thing that they could have done to help that, they kind of gave up on, which was Sony View, when they had like their own cord cutter service. And outside of all of the stuff that they produced themselves in their own studios, they just couldn't hammer out good enough deals with a lot of the other, subscription companies that, either want to do their own subscription service like CBS and ABC, or, as far as the overall, like certain series from like AMC and things along those lines. So they're eventually going to do something, as far as what that something is for Game Pass. I don't know just yet, but the movie thing is a good idea. The whole day and date, I really don't see them wanting to ever really do that. I think it would take them falling behind on the market share to even consider it. And I think even then they would probably go down fighting tooth and nail not to do it, just because they make so much on, like, if they can get anywhere from a minimum of like 4 million copies sold to 10 million, or I think Spider-Man itself, the original one from 2018, 18 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna. There's no way they're gonna really push to have that as like a day and date. I mean, if at anything, it might be like a trial service. Like, hey, you want to try it before you buy it? You got 5 hours. Go have at it, type of thing. But like full download, no. And unless they're talking like a almost $20 a month price, and then like if you buy multiple months, it's discounted to like maybe $16 a month or something. But even still, I think they would rather just get that full retail price. And even though it could be discounted and sold outside of the subscription service, like, hey, you subscribed and you get like an extra $5 or $10 off, or maybe they can tout it as, instead of spending the new $70 price on next gen games, you'll go back to the $60 price because you have the subscription. I don't know, something along those lines. But I would like to see Nintendo continue to discount their prices. I mean, they don't have to, because that stuff is selling like hotcakes no matter what, but it'd be nice if they continue doing that. And Stadia, Google's famous for killing everything that they make that doesn't fly off the shelf. So the writing was on the wall when they made the new Chromecast, and you can't even sideload Stadia on it. That tells you right there, it's not even on their radar anymore. It's DOA basically. So Stadia, we'll see the final straw, unless Cyberpunk somehow saves it, which I doubt. But if Cyberpunk saves it, then maybe they'll kick it up a notch. But
well, we'll see how that goes, because they don't have any exclusive or special deals with Stadia or Cyberpunk as far as any marketing, as far as I know. So
what are you talking about, man? They got that slick story. Okay, at least someone laughed at it. I got concerned when it was like Stadia has an exclusive, and you read the article and you find out it is nothing more than literally it's an article. It's typed out story. I was completely shocked. I was like, oh my God, this is all right. Never mind. I'm going to go on with my day. I got worried for a second.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I mean, once again, that's a great warm-up topic. Once again, the poll of the week. We started every single week here on the Shop Podcast. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Shout out to some new faces in here. Duke Togo. Seen some other people in here, man. Shout out to people that are returning back to the Shop Podcast. We love to have you here once again. Hit the like button. Super chat is available if you want to take advantage of that. We appreciate the support from all of you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So we're going to be talking about a little bit of Phil here. Talking about a little bit of Phil. So Phil did an interview very recently. I saw the tweet. I don't have it pulled up. I wish I would have had it pulled up so I can give a shout out to the people who actually did the interview or the journalists. But he talks, I wanted to get into what he said specifically about tribalism and about this thing we do in this video game industry that we all take place in these Twitter streets, essentially. So just a little bit. I'm not going to get too dirty. We're not going too deep, not dive too deep on it, but we're going to do the best we can here. But he talked a little bit about console tribalism, i.e., fanboy and taking sides and all these different things we see in gaming and just how it's, just affecting the industry. And Phil's always been on the side of he plays everything. He always congratulates Nintendo, everything they do, everything Sony does, PC gaming. He's heavily involved in that as well. And he breeds that culture. You see it in every single one of his employees. All of these guys play everything. They own all the systems. They openly say it. It's not something that they hide in the background like, hey, I own a Nintendo too, or I own a PlayStation as well. They openly say these things. So, and he's always reinforced that. So just wanted to, I know Stag, this is something that you don't take part in very much. I know it comes to you quite often, but you don't take a whole lot of part in that. But just wanted to get your quick opinion on where you feel at, about the console tribalism and just, the fanboy stuff and, what happens that we see, stuff that we see on Twitter.
And I do try and stay out of it, but sometimes it's fun to mock people. No, I think it's bullshit, but it honestly, like if you think about it, we do the same thing with sports, music, movies. Exactly. You know what I mean? Everything. Like, hold on, you need to leave. Thank you, child. But I think he's right. I mean, like it's silly nonsense, and I mean, I really feel like a lot of it. Either on either side, any side that you're on, and if you're super crazy about it, like you're trying to I don't know, make yourself feel better about making somebody else feel bad about their decision-making process. And I don't understand that whole ideology. Like why my choice of buying X console, or I shouldn't say X, but said console it affects your ability to enjoy the console that you like, and how come I'm losing if I so I like Xbox, so what? I also like PlayStation, but like if I play more on Xbox, how is that ruining your experience, and how the hell am I losing by enjoying that experience? It's a weird dichotomy of like, well, you like the losing team. Well, okay.
I'm doing all this fun shit, but I'm losing.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. I've been having a lot of fun over here for the past 15 years. So I mean, but and I've recently. I mean, I had a PS1 first. Back in the day, I had a Nintendo before that. I've had multiple Nintendos. I've had multiple PlayStations. I've had multiple Xboxes. For fuck's sakes, I started on a ColecoVision. So I mean, most people don't even know what that is.
Man, come on now.
Me being one of them.
But I'm just saying, like, this tribalism thing's dumb. Play the games you like, where you like to play them, and don't worry about what other people are doing. It's your money.
Absolutely, and it's funny because the awesome thing, the thing I love about Stag is that he's always self-aware. He always stays self-aware about, even when he's in the middle of shit. I always see him on Twitter, but he's always self-aware of what he's doing. Now, I approach this situation as far as this fanboy shit. I don't take much part in it. It doesn't come my way too often. I see it all the time, obviously, but I don't feel any different than I'm a big Lakers fan and I'm a Steelers fan. I will fight somebody over Ben Roethlisberger. I will punch somebody in the face. I will not punch somebody in the face over an Xbox. So when I look at it from that standpoint, like that's not like, this is all just fun. It can go far. The death threats, things like that are way too crazy. And there's some people out there that just love to troll and just take shit too far. But ultimately, a lot of it's WWE. And that's how that's why I don't stop people from doing it. Because I'm like, because if I was sitting next to a Clippers fan, me and him were probably going to end up fist fighting. Like dead ass. Like so, it is what it. That's kind of look at it. Like it's not that serious to me, but I understand that as Phil Spencer in his position, it definitely needs to be addressed. But they've always been open, and that's one thing I do love about the way Phil, kind of looks at video games. He's just a fan of the entire culture. He plays everything, and he's always been open about that. So that's what I love. Now, Centurion, this is on you, bro. We'll just get your opinion. We talked about a little bit about this pre-show, but just want to get your opinion on just how you feel in general about that.
Real quick, one, remind me to never take you to a basketball game.
No,
if I can ask, and I'm not trying to be like disrespectful or naive in my next statement, but what the heck is a ColecoVision?
Oh,
You have the internet. Google it.
Yeah, my cousin had one. I was just gonna put it in the chat. I remember going to his house and playing this shit all the time.
It was a system in the early 80s.
Early 80s, yeah.
Zaxxon.
Okay, so it's like
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, my
Smurf.
Smurf.
It had the telephone cord.
Dude, it had you talk about like game systems having peripherals now. Like that system had like almost a peripheral for almost every fucking game.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard stories about the stuff that came out in the 80s. The furthest I went back was the Atari. So
okay.
Yeah, got that wood grain on it. Anyways, so how do I feel about tribalism, man? It's kind of where me and you were talking about. I like how Phil Spencer kind of conducts himself in the industry, especially in a world where, everybody always assumes that the corporate structure never cares about the end consumer. And I feel like at least when it comes to Phil Spencer, nothing could be further from the truth. He actually cares a lot about the end consumer. But he also hates how he was quoted in that article and saying that, excuse me, about saying that he hates how a developer will put their product out there on the internet just for the world to tear it apart. And it really is starting to become something like that. We're seeing situations where people just wish doom and failure on a product just because it came from a company or a brand that they for some reason don't like or competes with their favorite brand. We're also regretfully now getting to a point where developers, like we're seeing it with E3 and other gaming shows. Why don't the developers show us more gameplay? Well, that's because you're going to feed it to companies and you're going to slow down frame rates and you're going to look for things that would normally never be seen. But now because of the digital age, things are able to microscope something. And yeah, we were talking about tribalism is now a result of just the competitive world we live in now. Everybody's competing and everybody's trying to figure out how one product is superior to another. And Phil Spencer doesn't really want to play that game. He actually even went in and said if anything was to ever drive him out of the industry, it would be the tribalistic nature of the industry, purely because he sees it as kind of toxic. Why would you ever want to see someone fail so that someone else could succeed? Why can't everybody succeed?
Yeah. And this space is big enough for everybody. That's the crazy thing, is that we know that. Like as gamers, we're so fickle and we're so locked in and we're so competitive too. Competition's part of what drives the industry as well. We can't ignore that the fact that we sit up here and make those videos and the verses and the comparison video. Digital Foundry wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this fanboy shit. They wouldn't exist. So and they provide a viable service to the industry by doing those comparisons, but that is driven by fanboy narrative. It is what it is.
Now, the one thing to kind of throw it in there that I really wish some of these companies like Nintendo and PlayStation would somehow, in a way, really kumbaya with Microsoft. We have pretty much the trinity of console gaming and PC. Now we're starting to see situations, and this is going to go back to your poll of the week, asking is Stadia going to get a new IP? Everybody makes jokes about Stadia, and like Google has way enough money to sit on Stadia and let it stagnate, and out of nowhere buy a developer, publisher, somebody, and completely upset the system. We've already seen it now with Microsoft and their acquisition of Bethesda, something that we've never really seen in the gaming industry before. So definitely, I like how Phil Spencer doesn't really see Sony and Nintendo as competition. I really hope that it's more of a partnership, because I really feel like gaming started with them. I know Nintendo and Sony are way older than Microsoft, but I feel like Microsoft has done a good job of actually, creating a niche and a place for themselves to kind of stand in that kind of spotlight. And I really feel like they stand a good chance of succeeding on the future of gaming together, especially when you pit them against companies like Amazon and Google.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good breakdown. No, once again, great breakdown, Centurion. And I agree with you. A lot of your points you made. A lot of the points you made, I 100% agree with. Just, we'll see. Nintendo has been on board a little bit more. They played nice with Xbox, a little bit more. Banjo went over to Smash. I know it always seems to be things going to Nintendo, not the other way around. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, it'd be nice if we seen some, I don't even know what you call that, some reciprocity. I think that's what that's called. But anyway, let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. Get your opinion on this particular topic before we move on, man.
Yeah. It's I look at it a little bit differently. I mean, I right now I'll tell you I have a preference towards Xbox. That wasn't always the case. I was more of a PlayStation guy and would not have even considered back in the original Xbox or 360 days to touch a Microsoft product, just because at the time when I was a PC player, it was just one of those things where Windows XP was great and Windows what was that, ME was terrible. Windows 98 was great, and like Windows Vista was terrible. So it was like, oh, if they can screw up the PC gaming space, why do I even want to mess with their box type of thing? But just like with my family, we've been a GM family all our lives, and every last one of the men in our family have at some point broken down and bought a Ford. Most of them, like my brother and my dad, they bought Thunderbirds. I bought a Mustang. My uncle bought a Mustang. I even bought a Ford truck. I've even owned a Mustang and Camaro at the same time. So it's just, I just look at the overall competition being a good thing. So I don't try to play the fanboy wars too much, although I will go out and try to counter. Like if somebody's going to just show or point out all the bad stuff of like Xbox, it's like, well, I play on PlayStation, and why aren't you talking about all these bad things like the saves behind the paywall and blah, blah, blah. But I try not to feed into the toxic stuff. It's like, if you want to have your pros and cons list, don't make it one-sided. Just play both of them. But it just, I don't know. It's great to be a fan of a particular brand as long as you're not going above and beyond. That's I think what Phil is referring to more so is like when people are making death threats or calling names or piling on with just nonsense, whether it be to the devs or a particular streamer or reporter or whomever. It's good to voice your opinion. Just not saying don't be mean. I mean, there's going to be knuckleheads out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But
For sure.
don't ever threaten somebody over a game being delayed, or threaten somebody because the patch that they made or the patch that they're working on isn't to your complete liking. I mean, you can, if you're that displeased with the product, just either stop playing it or don't buy it, or return it, refund it. I mean, if it's a dev and you're mad at the game that they made, then speak with your wallet the next time they release a game, if that's the case. I mean, don't be like, oh, I'll find your family. No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And we never do.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where even when people were like DOSing people and stuff like that, it just, you don't want to get to the point where you're showing up at people's doorsteps, and this is the internet. First of all, you're never going to win a fight. There's no winning if you're arguing on the internet, and it's ridiculous to think otherwise. But as far as like the tribalism aspect, everybody has their favorites or their preference. Just if the person doesn't agree with your preference, then there's no need to carry on the conversation. It's not like you're going to twist their arm and convince them. No, I'm more right, and you should enjoy what I enjoy. No, not necessarily. Just enjoy what you enjoy, and they'll enjoy what they enjoy, and leave it at that. That's all I got to say about it.
All right.
Don't tell me what to do, Fuzzy.
that smooth voice, man, just rocks you to sleep. That boy gets
if I can add on, am I allowed to?
Mhm.
Like, I just like how what he was talking about, how these developers get tore up with death threats and stuff. Sometimes it's now got to the point where developers and anybody associated with these developers, friends, family, you can't even really have a social media account. Because like if you like all of a sudden people start popping up on your Facebook, your Twitters, your Instagrams, and you're just trying to live a normal life, and all of a sudden people want to drag in the fact that you delayed a game into probably you don't want to think, because that's technically work for them, and they're over here just trying to kind of live their lives.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and we're almost too connected. We almost have too much access. It's almost like OD. But I think, like you guys both are perfectly pointing out, is that it's the extreme cases. I think that they're pointing out here. I think the competition is necessary for this industry to thrive and for it to be where it's at today. You don't thrive without the competition in any type of space. Especially tech. So we need the competition. I don't take it too seriously, obviously, but I think we're all talking about the extreme. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, man. Once again, shout out to everybody watching live right now. Hypnos, see some new faces, Bacon, Dova, Cyber. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you guys for hanging out, man. Hit the like button. Once again, the super chat is live. Appreciate the love and support. So let's go ahead and move on. We're talking a little bit of Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite. So we didn't really get any recent news on Halo Infinite, although we got just some tidbits here about maybe an update, us getting some potential updates about the game. And it got me thinking about what space Halo Infinite's in currently and what needs to happen going forward. Now, obviously, we have no inside information. This is all just our opinion from the outside looking in. So we're going to start with you, Stag. I mean, I'm patient as hell when it comes to Halo. I stated earlier in the show, they just take as much time as they need, get it done right, because obviously the management changes obviously do mean things aren't where they need to be. That doesn't happen for nothing. But I just feel like a game like Halo, especially Infinite, needs to come out the right way. So where you at on this, Stag? Any changes or anything you see going forward?
People need to be patient and let them complete the game and stop being little ass fuckers. That's all I got. Like, seriously, like, I'm just waiting for the game. I can't wait to see how Craig evolves as we go forward. But like, seriously, like, I'm not in a hurry. Like, I got like over 500 games I can play in the next year until that game releases, and so does everybody else. Like, y'all just got a new Call of Duty if you want to shoot some shit. There's a bunch of RPGs that'll take you 100 to 200 hours to play. Like, there's stuff on PlayStation. There's stuff on Nintendo. Go play some Animal Crossing. I don't know what to tell you, but just be patient and let them make the game the way it needs to be made.
And I agree. I mean, plain and simple. It's Halo. The shit has to be done the right way.
And I want it to release with the system. You goddamn better believe it. I quietly say this Series X sitting downstairs right now that no one knows is in the house but me and my wife. But I would love to play Halo on it. I haven't set it up yet, but it is what it is, and it will be ready when it's ready.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, you can't rush these things. Halo, you got to get it done right. They always say, a bad game is a bad game forever. So you got to let these games come out. Got to let it evolve. Obviously, we don't know to the extent that the changes are being made. We don't know if it's just technical, if it's like story. It could be a little bit of everything, honestly, at this point.
I just think the multiplayer wasn't ready, so they had to push it back.
or that. Or that.
I'm joking, but
okay. It could be because we heard whether or not we were even going to.
I don't know how to use servers for matchmaking, so
But let's go ahead and throw this over to Centurion, man. With just a recent, kind of little chatter here and there about a potential, them giving us some updates on the game fairly soon. Now I don't know if it'll be before the end of the year, but where are you sitting at right now with Halo Infinite?
Where am I sitting at? I think Microsoft needs to go down there and just rain fire and brimstone, just clean house, burn it. No, I'm playing. Anyways, so I'm kind of with Stagger. I'm not gonna tell people that they're, what he said. Definitely
use bad words.
I will definitely use bad words, but I definitely don't want to get at least PTK's show for dropping an F-bomb that many times. But anyways, so definitely I do agree with Stagger. People need to calm down. There is a lot of games. If you try to keep definitely beating that drum of any console having no games, definitely please just stop. There is definitely a lot of content to consume. There's other things you can do. Regretfully, games get delayed. We're actually seeing a lot of delays, regardless of whether any event in 2020 helped lead up to any delay of any kind of game. It happened. There's delays. Stuff happens. Let's play the games we got. Let's definitely be excited for what there is to come. Because of these delays, it looks like 2021 is going to be a stacked year for gaming fans, and we are going to have a lot to celebrate in 2021 for a lot of games. So definitely let's play the games we got. Let's coast through 2020, and let's get ready for a really awesome 2021 when it comes to Halo Infinite and a bunch of other games.
I agree. I love that, man. Nice plug at the end there, man. Giving that momentum built up through that. I like that. Centurion, you built momentum up, man. I see you switching up there. I see you over there, man. I like that. Yeah. But no, I agree full fledged, man. You know, give them time to make the game right. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of games come out not working. You know, just broken and not working. So let's give this thing time to simmer. So
you see the difficulties that I just want to. You just kind of made me think. You see the difficulties some developers are already having with some of these newer consoles because the Series X dev kit didn't really hit their office till like around June. And if you really think about it, could you imagine having to make a game work on a new kind of hardware from June to now? And that's all the time you had to work with that new hardware. So there definitely would be some issues. And I could definitely see in the long run, we're going to see a lot more stuff when it comes to next gen upgrades on these future games, because they're going to have more time with the dev kits. They're going to have a better understanding of the technology at hand, and they're going to be able to do a lot more with it.
Okay. No, I agree. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. Get your opinion, man. What do you think about Halo Infinite? Where's it sit at? Me and you talked about this the other day. We was playing Destiny. We kind of talked about 343 and what potentially could be done, and we talked about management and all the changes at the top. And you stated, and you said this before. You said it when it happened to Naughty Dog that this is going there. You know, anytime there's big changes, especially with creators and head writers and things, that always shakes things up. So where are you sitting at with Halo right now?
I think they're going to need more time because of the shakeup. It just seems like, I won't say it was like a start from scratch type of thing, but it's like a lot of things were on the cutting floor right now. So I think there's just going to be more time needed so they have a nice story flow, and it'll just be something that we'll have to look forward to come, holidays 2021. There's no need for them to rush it, especially with this being the quintessential, tentpole title or IP for Xbox. The last thing that they need to do is push this out any sooner than it needs to be, or then it's ready type of thing. I know that there was some talk before about doing a split between the single player and the multiplayer. Me personally, I could see them doing that, and not that I'm that I won't say that I'm not into the Halo story, but not being a fan from the very beginning, like somebody just coming into Halo from Halo 5. The split wouldn't necessarily be a negative thing in my eyes, but I know for a lot of the fan base it would. But if that's the case, they probably should just wait until both aspects are ready. Because if you look at one of the other games, and no, Halo is nowhere near like Crackdown, and Crackdown is nowhere near like Halo, but we saw how with splitting the multiplayer from the single player, it just didn't feel right. And there was a lot of things missing in the multiplayer. So it was just, it's better to make it one cohesive game, let it, bake a little bit longer. And if they can't meet the target for holiday of 2021, then push it back further and give us like realistic updates. Like worst case scenario, possibly do a beta test or like a demo or something like that come, holiday 2021 to kind of wet everybody's whistle type of deal, but they got enough studios working on enough projects to kind of fill in from this point moving forward. So I would say focus on those. Let the 343 team, not 343. The 343 team do what they need to do, and just give them space, give them time, make sure they got all the resources that they need. If they need additional help from other internal teams or other first party internal teams, then so be it. But yeah, I think just everybody kind of like leave them alone. Don't really look forward to any real updates other than, hey, we're still working on it. You'll see it when you see it. And if we got something to show, like, hey, this is going to be, some of the or more detail on the whole codings thing, which I know that kind of pissed off a few people as far as how they're implementing this new coding system. But aside from that, just hold on to any unveilings until it's fully ready. Like whatever they showed at that last unveiling and nobody saw that it didn't quite look like it was up to snuff. Obviously they don't have the right eyes looking at it before they show it to the public. So just kind of let things continue to simmer and have, I guess, your beta test team or your internal testing team really, vet whatever they show next type of thing. And that's all I got.
Okay. I mean, go ahead.
I wanted to point out that this is something that's been rolling around in my head. These companies actually have a chance, both PlayStation and Xbox have a chance to have a relaunch of their consoles if you really think about it. From a retail standpoint and just from my standpoint, from what I do, 2020 has been regretfully abysmal, especially when it comes to distribution and availability of product. I feel like by holiday of 2021, that's going to be a total different story for both companies, hopefully. And in that case, I really feel like we're going to see these companies, in a sense, I really would call it like a second relaunch, basically getting people rehyped for the consoles. And we're probably going to more than likely at that point in time, probably maybe even see some redesigns of these consoles because, they've been out in the wild long enough for them to actually figure out where they can make some tweaks here and there and some improvements. But definitely, the way I see is we already see Microsoft already talking about how scalpers and bots and other systems that were used to basically circumvent pre-orders and stuff like that. And even Microsoft wants to address the pre-order situation. And that's where I feel like both of these companies have a chance of really succeeding at these relaunches by actually addressing the pre-order situation and actually creating a pre-order system that would actually circumvent bots and scalpers from actually doing this again. And this would be a way of kind of like getting the system back into the public by basically guaranteeing that every order that was put in for one of these consoles was fulfilled in a very timely manner.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. This year has been completely different than any other year. We can't discredit the fact that there's a lot.
Have you actually heard what Phil Spencer's idea was for pre-orders?
No, I haven't.
So he actually made comments. I forget the time frames, but he basically said it takes X amount of time to manufacture one console. So he's like, so imagine walking in to a GameStop or a retailer and putting a deposit down on your Series X or your Series S. And they basically told you your console would be available on this date because they know the manufacture time. And that's kind of a system of what he's wanting to create. And by doing that, it means that some bot or some scalper just can't walk in and put down a deposit for all of these consoles. That means they would have to literally, like, they could do it. And then people the very next day, they wouldn't be, basically you'd be creating a system where you couldn't actually go in and basically clean house on these consoles.
So it's almost like ordering a car.
Kind of like, yes. So Phil Spencer has already been making comments and talks about this. And so that's where I feel these both Sony and Microsoft could have a console relaunch where they could definitely hype the system and guarantee the system by basically creating a system that would make it very difficult for people to basically just clean house.
Okay. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that. I have to go back and read about that. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and move on to the last topic of the show. Shout out to everybody watching this live, man. Dover, Craig just popping in here, man. Appreciate the love and support. Once again, let's run it up. Those likes, hit the like button, support the show, as well as retweet the link. Let everybody know we live right now, man. Let's go ahead and move on to the last topic. We're talking a little bit of Assassin's Creed, and there have been some people on this podcast playing a shit ton of it. Namely, the guy that has the orange beard in his bio. But anyway, we're talking a little bit about just the update and the fact that there's been this huge outrage that, so initially the PS4 version, or PS5 version outperformed the Xbox Series X version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They released it up, Ubisoft released a patch, and now that's kind of flip-flopped. And now we have some information, and we know that Xbox dev kits, and they were a little bit later to the game. They got them a little bit later, so the devs have not had as much experience with the Xbox dev kits that they have with the Sony dev kits. So I think we're seeing a lot of that, and these patches are going to show that going forward. So just wanted to talk about just the overall stance on this whole idea that, this is a big deal now, and, from one side to the next, how things have kind of shifted based on just the updates of Valhalla. And just, first of all, how you enjoying the game, Stag? I know you beaten the game, right? You completed it,
No,
right?
I haven't beat it yet, dude. I'm like
You haven't?
70 hours into it, and I still have a lot left to do.
Oh shit! Okay.
I've been working on the missions more now, just because I want to get through the main campaign, just so I can put it kind of a little bit back on the back burner and play some other campaigns in different games. But I definitely feel like it's going to be one of those games where I go back and find everything, like I have done with a couple of the not Shadow of the Tomb Raiders, but Tomb Raiders, excuse me.
What power level are you?
I like just kind of climbing around and looking for stuff and finding the things, and really, dude, smashing people's heads with hammers is fucking satisfying in that game. But I don't really care about all that other stuff. Like the updates and stuff didn't really affect me because I'm still playing it on my Xbox One X, and I saw all these people complaining about performance issues on either console, because they were playing on the PS5 or they were playing on the Series X, and I'm like, weird, I'm having none of those issues. So I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with the game. I would have.
You're not a super huge Assassin's Creed.
No,
fan,
actually, this is the most I've ever played an Assassin's Creed game more than an hour or two.
This game's 70 hours so far. I wanted to be like, dude, if I would high five you right now if I was next to you.
You see what Sean just said in the chat? He got
180. That's 180. Crazy. You can see I'm pushing for the million, or that's all I would be playing right now. Honestly, if I wasn't going for gamer score right now, the only thing I would be playing is Valhalla. So
yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun.
I've seen some people comment that they don't like it and they don't like the game, and I'm like, I've never liked an Assassin's Creed game before, and I love this one.
I specifically remember you saying that in chat, not in chat, but on the show. I don't really fuck with Assassin's Creed games. So
I started Origins and played for an hour or two, and I haven't gone back. But I will say that Valhalla has me wanting to go backwards. So
that's good. That's a sign of a fucking very, very good game. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I know you, like I said, pumped a ton of hours into it. So, man, great run up there. All right, Centurion, that's on you, man. You don't really necessarily even have to talk about the update, because once again, that's not even I guess that big of a deal ultimately. But I do just want to hear, just your opinion overall. You have Valhalla, right, Centurion?
Yes, but it's kind of a love-hate relationship right now, because you got to remember, man, I bricked my Series X.
That's right.
now my Series X, remember a few weeks ago, you're like, once you have your Series X, are you ever going to go back to your Xbox One X? I've been using my Xbox One X a little bit more than I believe I should. Because I should be putting a binky on my Series X, oh, it's okay, little guy, don't get mad, because I want to take it through its paces tonight and tomorrow and the next day, definitely for sure. But from what I've played of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I have played it on both the Xbox One X and the Series X, and I could definitely say there is a big difference when it comes to loading times. I definitely prefer it on the Series X, especially with the resolution. Does it surprise me that it was running worse on the Series X than it was the PS5? No. Like you covered, the Series X dev kit was definitely a little bit late to the party, which created some issues. And oh my god, I feel like a fraud. Stagger has played this game more than me, and now I feel like I have definitely lacked. I'm excited for this game. What can I say though? Assassin's Creed Valhalla is definitely right up my alley. I've poured hundreds of hours into both games. I know once I start playing this game, you guys will probably never see me.
All right, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Flood. Just get your opinion on just the update. You know, with Valhalla, I know you played a ton of it as well. Maybe not as much as Stag.
No, I only have like 22 hours, I think. But I'm like a power level 70 something, somewhere in the 70s.
Your family's way more than I do.
But I'm enjoying it now. What I'm doing, I think the reason why I'm so few hours, I've been doing a lot of the fast traveling, just getting like a lot of the collectibles, except for the ones that are.
I walk everywhere. It's ridiculous.
No, but the fast travel and with it being the next gen console, it's just saves so much time. It's not quite instant, but it's within 6 seconds to go from synchronized spot to synchronized spot type of deal. But it is so much fun. Just now that I have a few of the bear tree things unlocked, where I'm just knocking people's heads off and chopping arms and yanking their weapon from them and chopping them straight in the forehead with their own weapon type of thing, or stabbing them through the gut with their sword. But I ran into like a couple of like tearing issues because I only have a C9, so I don't have the VR. Was it the VSS or something like that? So I don't have that, and I can see the tearing if I'm in like a big city that's busy and I'm looking around for like where the tattoo thing is on like a rooftop or something. I'll see the tearing. Is it game breaking for me? No, it's not pretty to look at, but the rest of the game is pretty to look at for the most part, and it runs buttery smooth as far as running through the woods or on horseback running through the town. It's just when you start like looking from building to building real quick, that's what the only time it really tears for me. But I haven't tried it since they did the patch update or the patch recently. I'm hoping, from what I've heard from a lot of people, that a lot of that tearing has gone away. So I'll definitely test it in some of the busier cities and stuff. But it's just so much
frame
fun.
Rate issues once.
I haven't really had
smoke from really far away coming from a fire. I was like, hey, wait a minute, that's not how smoke looks.
No, but I haven't had any like frame rate issues or anything along those lines. Like, let me see. I think I had 1 or 2 crashes, not like a hard crash where I had to completely reboot my system, but like 2 freezes. And I think one of the freezes is because I had the game on pause kind of for like a minute or so, because I was, I every now and then I'll use YouTube to see, like, if I run across like an artifact that I can't pick up or I can't figure out how to get to, I'm like, well, why can't I get there? Oh, it's locked behind, progression in the story. So it's like, oh, well, that's why I can't get it. But, I've had it on pause for like a couple of minutes looking for that video to figure out why I can't get the thing. And then it would freeze when I go to, have the Raven fly over or something like that. And it's like, great. But nothing where it completely crashed the Xbox. It was just a matter of, quit the game, reboot it. It picks it up from where I last had an autosave or manual save. I because of Watch Dogs, I've been doing a lot of manual saves. But I'm looking forward to trying the patch. It's just that now I'm setting up the PS5, making sure that thing is running. Although the CD-ROM or the DVD, Blu-ray is a little bit louder than I expected. It's not as quiet as people say, but outside of that, the looking forward to the patch. Love the game. It's a ton of fun. I liked Origins more than Odyssey, and I think I'm gonna wind up liking Valhalla more than both of them combined. So
nice.
It's definitely worth picking up. Yeah, a lot of people picked it up because Cyberpunk got delayed. this is still well worth picking up no matter what. Even if Cyberpunk was out, I would have still picked it up, and there's a good reason why you should pick it up as well if you haven't.
Awesome. So I don't have it yet, so I don't have a huge opinion on that. So I wanted to really see, the people that have played the game, you three, get you guys' opinion on it. So looks like we're gonna go ahead and just wrap things up on that note, man. Once again, another fantastic, amazing, fire ass show. Appreciate the continued support for everybody in the chat, everybody watching that wasn't hanging out in the chat. You guys are fucking awesome as well. We'll go around the panel here. Once again, before I do that, if you guys, hit the link in the description as far as the shout out to Tom as well, the BG4G Hub guys, all my British fans over there. Appreciate you guys' support as well. The link in the description is below for BG4G Hub /shop podcast. Check us out there. So let's go ahead and get to just let everybody know what's going on, where we can find people at. Where you at, Stag? What's going on with you this week? Any changes to the live streams?
No, the schedule's the same. I go on a little bit earlier than I'm scheduled to go on if I'm awake already. So, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard on twitch.tv/Staggerilla. I do have a couple early releases that I'm going to be showing next week. A couple action RPGs. I've got Chronos Before the Ashes, which looks really cool. Like every time you die, the story progresses a year. Like your character progresses a year, so you kind of like to figure things out with that little mechanic, which is kind of cool. And then I got another one for Morbid, the Seven Acolytes, and I looked at the game further, and it was like, if you like games like Dark Souls and Mortal Shell, and I was like, oh, fuck me. But yeah, so I got those I'm going to showcase this week, and we've been playing a lot of Family Feud, which has actually been a really been a big hit with the viewers. Like we'll buzz in and we'll pause, and then I let the chat just shout out answers, and we try and figure it out together. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, that's where I'm at most of the time.
Awesome, man. Well, once again, go ahead and check him out. Information's in the description below. Go follow him on Twitter. That's where all of the information regarding Twitch and his streaming time things will be available there. So once again, shout out to you, Stag, hanging out with us every week, man. Centurion, throw this over to you, man. Let everybody know what's cooking up, man, and where they can find you at.
Oh, well, thank you, gentlemen. It's been an awesome show, and I didn't get to say this to you guys directly, but happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
I know we all reached out in the DMs, but still, it's always better to say it in person.
Yeah.
And that also goes out to everybody in the chat and who listens to the show after the fact. Be sure to send PTK some love with a like and a subscribe. He's definitely an awesome guy. Same with everybody else here. For those interested in following me, though, definitely you can find me at Centurion1307 on YouTube, Xbox Live, and Twitter. I also hang out with these fine gentlemen every Saturday right here on the Shop Podcast. And I also hang out every Sunday night with the fine gentlemen over there on the TXR Podcast. And that's about it. Well, I'm also doing my videos. I got to do I'm finally, now that the family's all gone and we've kind of moved on with the holiday whole thing, I'm going to get some videos definitely coming out, especially now that I can finally do my Series X review officially.
Nice. So we looking forward to that. You guys stay locked in with Centurion. Catch that review. He's going to give you a full breakdown, his opinion on, the unboxing, all of that good stuff. But appreciate you, man, every single week here. And now we're going to smooth this thing out and get to the real reason why we do this indie. Exactly. This is the real reason.
Well, honestly, this is why I show up every Saturday right here.
Exactly. Everybody.
Baby, no, we cannot go to the Olive Garden for your birthday. I gotta hear Fuzzy Belvedere give his outro.
Don't break up a happy home, Fuzz. Don't break up a happy home. All right,
I appreciate that. Well, just one thing, Centurion, before you do your review on the Series X, you gotta do a load screen simulator test. You gotta fire up Anthem, man. You gotta.
Oh,
crazy.
It's
it was the
day for the Anthem.
I
was
going to say something, I forgot. Good job, Fuzzy.
That's
almost
awesome.
Broke the streak. We almost fucked it up, guys.
Oh my god. We're definitely gonna have to do that as a joke now for sure.
Gee, I was 100% sure Stag was gonna mention that shit at some
I had it in my lineup of like games to talk about that I was gonna play next week, and I totally spaced it off.
Oh my god.
All right, Fuzzy.
For
the
those that
anthem
are
skill.
new here, this is like a weekly tradition. We bring up Anthem in the show in some way, shape, or form. Got to sneak
Dude,
it in. It's
and
not
it
that we
has
hate
been-
the game. We actually all like it and have
We all
played
like
the
it, yeah.
game. It's just that we really wish BioWare had spent more time.
Waiting for that 2.0.
Yeah.
Hey, come on now.
Oh
It's
my
around
God.
the corner, man. I'm telling you.
Dude,
It's
I
gonna
can see it right
it's
now.
gonna
They're
be
gonna
a
come
deck
out.
building real time turn-based strategy game by the time they're done.
Oh,
What are you
man.
talking about? They're gonna have a peripheral that you hook onto the front of your controller, and you're gonna go into the store and buy your little armor pieces in those little bubble wrap packages, and you're gonna put them on the controller.
I'm popping all the bubbles.
Terrible. Go ahead, Fuzz, man. Go ahead, Fuzz.
Well, yeah, for this coming week, pretty much I'm going to be comparing my Series X and my PS5. I don't have any duplicate games just yet. I might wind up, testing either Cold War on the PS5 or NBA 2K on the PS5. But other than that, you can find me on Twitter, usually posting silly stuff I'm doing, like standing out of a game in front of a GameStop for a couple of days. Or you can catch me on PSN, Fuzzy_Belvedere. Same thing with Twitter, Fuzzy_Belvedere. On Xbox Live, it's Fuzzy Space Belvedere. Definitely going to be firing up some Forza. Got to get back into Destiny as soon as I get some more work
You know
done.
what we're doing tonight, man. You know what we're doing.
I got to catch up. I'm way behind. I'm still like, what is it, 1180 or something like
Yeah,
that.
you gotta. We'll get you caught up tonight, man, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, always fun talking with you guys about games. Look forward to doing this the same time next week. But awesome show, guys. Thanks again.
Awesome. And last but not least, your boy PTK Blam, the host with the most, man. PTK Blam across the board on Xbox Live. Add me. Been playing a shit ton of Destiny 2 with this gentleman down here, Fuzzy Belvedere. Hit me up. Add me there. You guys want to play, whatever the case may be. Always cool. Once again, appreciate you guys every single week showing up, showing out. Same time, same place next week. Okay, we will have a guest next week. I'm working on a couple things behind the scenes. So just last two guests or so kind of fell through, so we just had to figure things out. But I appreciate you guys. You guys show up anyway. So thanks for the love and support. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a happy holidays. Everybody be safe out there. We'll see you next week, everybody. Peace out.
Wash your hands.